as a state government, we've done all we can to make our state secure. We've spent billions of naira. In fact, we are adding up the numbers now because, we want to approach the president and say that, we need some of these expenses to be reimbursed to us. Why? Because defense and security are completely the responsibility of the federal government. Nigeria is the only federation in the world with one centralized police. We've argued for years against that. We've asked for devolution. We've asked for amendment to the Constitution to have federal police like the FBI, then state police, then even local government police. But that has not happened. So
why is that the case?
We have police. We have police commissioner. But frankly, the police commissioner can refuse to carry out any orders I give him as governor unless the IG says it's okay to do it. All right? I'm not saying I've given any orders and they have not been complied with, but I'm saying generically this is how things work. Okay? We need to do something about that. I have no control over something as simple as policing. Okay? The issue of how many policemen we have and the fact that we don't have inadequate security footprint is another issue. We have 300,000 policemen. When we came into office, we had 13,000 policemen in Kaduna. We needed 20,000, but we had 13. Now it's down to 11,000. Okay, so even the simplest, the first line of law enforcement police, is inadequate. It's not under the control of the state governments. So when people say state governors are chief security officers, it is just a cliche, 3 words in the Constitution, but not in reality. Secondly, the levels of insecurity have gone beyond simple insecurity to terrorism. These bandits, I have argued for years, are terrorists. The fact that they don't have command and control, like Boko Haram, does not mean they are not terrorists. Because when we tried to classify them as terrorists, people reminded us that they're just gangs. They don't have one leader. They don't have a shekau. Okay? That's someone's definition of a terrorist. My definition is any organization that challenges the sovereignty of the state is a terrorist organization.
They don't have to have a shekau.
Precisely. But, the international definition of terrorists is an organized group with an ideology, with command and control and so on. So we couldn't get past that. Now, once you have terrorists, you need the military. Okay? In our own case, with the inadequacy of the police, even what the police could have done, we bring in the military anyway. Who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces? The president. Okay? We have one div here, we have garrison commanders. I can't tell them what to do. I can, but they can just say, yes, sir, salute, and walk away and refuse to do anything.
So what do you need that hasn't been provided for by the federal government?
Well, look, I have said many times in the last 2-3 years that, in my view, what was needed even then is an offensive against the bandits. We should not adopt a defensive strategy in which when they attack and kidnap people, then we start chasing them. All right? We should map them, and we know where they are, okay? And just wipe out all of them. Just bomb them. Kill everyone. Yes, some innocent victims that have been kidnapped, that are in custody, may die, but that's collateral damage is allowed in war. Okay? I'm not being hard. I'm just saying that you have to choose between 2 evils. And for me, wiping out the bandits, letting them know that you will die, it's a matter of days or weeks, okay, is a better deterrent than waiting for them to reform. They will never reform. They make so much money. This thing has become an industry that, sooner or later, everyone will get onto it. And this is what we've seen happening. So we were totally helpless. We've made representations, we've shouted, we have written, nothing. But I'm happy to say that in the last 6 weeks, there has been a change because, the military has now deployed special forces here. and they are taking the bandits out. The Air Force is bombing them. All the things that we asked for 3 years ago is now happening. Now, if that had been done 3 years ago, we would be in a completely different environment, because 3 years ago they were much fewer in numbers. We knew the camps, we knew everything. We know everything about them. We listen to their conversations. Okay.
What about the option of local security networks, which your colleagues have begun to adopt in some states of the north, Zamfara, Benue?
We have them, but look, those local security networks can only provide maybe local intelligence. They do not have the firepower to face these guys. These guys sometimes even rout the military. So, people are talking simplistically when they say, oh, I want to get AK-47 for my Amotekun. You don't know what you're dealing with. We know. These guys are very well armed. These guys are getting arms that are sophisticated, that flew into the Sahel when Gaddafi's government collapsed. They have sophisticated weapons. Sometimes they outgun the military. So those vigilance service, those local security networks are not up to scratch.
Well, before we go on to the next questions on CAD-Invest and what people should expect, I mean, you mentioned this in passing, so just wanted to find out, because when we opened, the northern and southern governors appear to be on the same page now on state police. So the natural question is, I mean, their representatives are all in the states, they talk to the governors. What's the impediment now?
Well, the impediment is that there are people in Abuja that think a centralized police should continue. However, the National Assembly will look at this after they pass the budget, because we have met as Nigerian Governors Forum, we've met as Progressive Governors Forum, and we have asked our representatives in the National Assembly to begin the process of getting this constitutional amendment through. I'm also happy to say that a senator from this state, Senator Obasani, had already presented a bill to amend the constitution to allow for state policing and restructure the Police Service Commission and so on and so forth, so that you have national policing standards, but each state will have its own police in addition to the federal police. And the target is for us to have a total of 2 million policemen in Nigeria, federal and state. And the bill had passed first reading, I think, or second reading? No, first reading. And I think we've asked him to go back, take it through second reading and refer to committee, so that we can have the amendments to the Constitution on that, as well as 1 or 2 other issues to be brought back before the State Houses of Assembly take all the amendments and pass them. So we've agreed as governors to do that, and we hope it will be done soon.